Thank you so much. It's a real honor and pleasure to be with you tonight. I'm speaking with you from Denver, Colorado, United States of America. If you've ever been to America, Denver is in the center of the country, near the mountains. First off, I want to give my sincere congratulations to you. You have accomplished something in your life. You've made an investment in yourself, and that investment is going to be with you the rest of your life. Nobody can ever take that investment away from you. You're at a point where you're going to be making choices. We make choices all our life, but upon graduation, we have a whole new set of choices in front of you. And the choices that you make today are going to set the stage for you and the rest of your life. And not just for you, but for your family as well. So I want to talk with you about one of those choices. One of those choices is the career that you have in front of you. And I want to congratulate you for having chosen technology, either in part or in whole, as part of your career. And why is technology a good choice? Well, it's a good choice because number one, it's interesting, and number two, you have skills that are always going to be in demand. So in the future, you're always going to be able to put bread on your table and a roof over your head for both yourself and your family. Now, let's talk a little bit about your skills. You're graduating today and you've spent an effort to go through learning, but I have news for you. Your learning is not over, it's just beginning, because in terms of your learning activity, you're going to be learning all your life. I'm an older person, and I learn every day of my life. Sometimes what I learn is not terribly interesting. Some days things that I learn is very interesting, but learning is an ongoing activity. And just because you graduated from your university does not mean that your learning is over. Learning is a constant activity. Let me tell you this another way. When you are finished learning, you are finished. You stagnate, and stagnation is not anything that's pleasant. So I encourage you to continue your learning all your life. Don't ever stop. Don't ever stop. And by the way, learning is something that is both professional and personal. If you have ever had children, or someday when you have children, you'll find out how much you don't know, because children teach you a whole new set of things that are just waiting for you. So your learning activity is not just something that's professional, it's something that's personal as well. Now, I want to talk about another aspect of your career, and that is taking chances. I, all my life, have been a chance taker. That's how I live my life. Not everybody is a chance taker. Some people like to have a nice, predictable life. And there's nothing wrong with having a nice, predictable life. On the other hand, there are people like myself that like to take chances. And let me tell you what it's like to be a chance taker. Being a chance taker is like being on a roller coaster ride. One minute, the sky is the limit and you're going to succeed wildly. And the next minute, you're going downhill and you're going into the swamp. And whatever happens to you, it's never quite as good or as bad as you have imagined. But being a chance taker means that you are on a roller coaster and you need to have a stomach for it. And again, not everybody is a chance taker, but I can speak from taking chances because that's who I am and what I do. Now let's talk about another aspect of taking chances. One of the things about taking chances is failure. And if you're a chance taker, it's inevitable that you will fail. Now, nobody likes to fail, and it's certainly not pleasant to fail. But let me tell you something. there is a very valuable thing that happens when you fail. You now have a learning experience. Nothing teaches you better than failure. And if you learn from your failures, you will find that you become a mature person. That's where maturity and wisdom come from, is from learning from your failures. So if you're a risk taker and a chance taker, then you are going to find out that you are going to fail, and there's no shame, there's no sin in failure. But the sin and the shame is when you don't learn from the failure. Now, speaking of failure, another thing that you should think about as a risk taker is you should always consider, before you take the risk, the calculation of what happens if and when you fail. That is to say, if you're going to jump out of an airplane, you better have a parachute that sitting there hoping that your flight through the air is going to be wondrous and exciting. That's all well and good, but at the end of your fall out of the airplane, you're eventually going to hit Earth. And if you don't have a parachute, you're going to end up having a very bad experience. Now, speaking of having a parachute, one of the things that I more than recommend, I can tell you about, is we have something in America we call Plan B. What Plan B is an alternative means of supporting yourself should your primary activity not succeed. And so in my life, I've had Plan B and Plan C and Plan D, that if you're going to be a risk taker, you better be prepared to have an alternative to being able to survive should your plan not work out. Now, let me tell you something about a Plan B. Oftentimes it turns out that your Plan B turns into your Plan A. Let me tell you a personal experience. When I was going through college, I did not like to write. I really did not like to write. I avoided courses. I took courses in math. I took courses in programming. I did anything I could do to avoid writing. And then when I got out into the working world, one day, almost by accident, I discovered that I actually liked writing. And so to this date, I've written 62 books, some of which have been well received by the public. And today I am a writer. So that's a case where my Plan B turned into my Plan A. But when you get ready to take risks and take chances, make sure you have a calculation of what you are going to do if the plan you're on isn't going to work out. Otherwise, you and your family are in danger of having a bad experience. Now, let me talk about another aspect of being a chance taker. Being a chance taker has rewards, and there's different kind of rewards. My own personal rewards from taking chances are, it's been my privilege in life to be the first person to see things. The first thing I ever did that I saw and was the first person was something called data warehousing. And indeed, a long time ago, I sat there and wondered in awe of what something called data warehousing could do for the world. Now, today, data warehousing is a standard part of every corporation that's out there, but it wasn't that way in the beginning. In the beginning, there was nothing. And so it was my privilege to be able to see the power of data warehousing. More recently, I've had a second experience in terms of being rewarded with being the first person to see something. I've been able to look at text and look at how text can be turned into a database. Now, you probably have never thought about this, but there is a tremendous amount of potential of good things that happen to the world when you can turn text into a database. And it's been my privilege to be the first person to see how all of that works. By the way, I was talking with Dr. Kulkarni right before this presentation, and he asked me how long I had been doing the work on text. And it's kind of embarrassing. It's taken me 22 years to get to the point of understanding text the way that we do today. But today we can take text and turn text directly into a database on which a person can do analysis. And currently we do things with medical records, setting the stage for medical research, which is very rewarding. So when I talk about rewards, the rewards of taking chances and risks is, in my case, the reward of being the first person to be able to see how all of these things happen. But let me talk about another aspect of taking chances. Another aspect of taking chances is if you succeed, there oftentimes is a fair amount of financial gain. Now, there's nothing wrong with making money. There's nothing wrong with financial gain. But let me tell you something. If you think you're going to become a wealthy, rich person, you're not ever going to do that making a salary. No company is going to pay you so much money that you're going to get rich. You'll have enough money to pay your bills, enough money to put food on your table, a roof over your head, and take care of your family, and do that well, but you're not going to get rich. On the other hand, if you are an entrepreneur, that's how you get rich. But let me talk to you about the fallacy of getting rich. If all of your goal is to get rich and make money, then I want you to think a little bit about Bill Gates and Elon Musk, two of the wealthiest people on the earth today. The problem with making money as a goal is there's never enough. I don't care if you want to make money and that's all you want to do, then there's no end to it. There's never an end to how much money you want or you can make. So I personally don't think that making money should be one of your goals, although you certainly can do that. That's your choice and your choice to make. But making money is not a very soul satisfying thing. The other rewards, the ability to improve the world and offer the world something that it hasn't had before, is something that is much more satisfying than making a lot of money. So I want to close by, again, congratulating all of you. And I want to tell you, I'll be looking for great things from each one of you. Thank you for having me speak tonight.